Everybody's involved. Doug, are you okay?
If it wasn't for the obvious, this scene would look straight out of an episode of Cops. But that's the goal for the Amarillo Police Department's scenario-based training.
You can't go through these days and read everything out of a book and then put somebody out with a gun and say, okay, now go and do everything you learned.
So this gives cadets a taste of the real world, allowing them to make mistakes and learn from them. But it wasn't always this in-depth.
When the three of us went through, we did classroom-based training until SWAT week, and then you got that 1 week of scenario-based training.
Now, recruits see a mix of both to regularly apply what they learn, and they do it for even longer, according to Sergeant Carla Burr.
I know when I went through, I think the academy was 900-ish hours, and now it's up to almost 1,200 hours. It went from 6 months to almost 8 months.
These recruits at the tail end of those 8 months. We caught up with a training session set in a bar. The team of 3 being thrown right into the action.
They've got to have some situational awareness of what is happening around them. And of course, this is the first time they've had to do it in the dark with noise and flashlights and active live people fighting them. So it's chaotic.
Sergeant Toby Hudson calling it a sensory overload, which led to some mistakes.
Freeze your knee!
What are you doing?
He's cranking on my right wrist.
Quit jacking around. Get something done.
This is sometimes the first time that they're getting to use these, and that's what this week is for.
Sergeant Hudson says the controlled environment allows instructors to correct actions by cadets before they become habits.
So it's a constant effort of remediation, correction, and then testing again.
And while that simulation was a combative one, recruits go through several other real-world training scenarios that integrate other aspects of their classwork, like de-escalation. And the department constantly stays on the lookout.
Every time a new class or a new trend or a new wave comes out, the PD generally sends somebody to that training and sees, is there anything that we can take from this and apply it to our guys? So we're constantly tweaking the curriculum of the academy.
And they recently just purchased a virtual simulator.
I think it'll supplement our training.
Yes.
So instead of downtime where there's 10 or 12 officers waiting to go into a scenario, now we can have 2 or 3 officers participating in a live role play scenario and 2 or 3 officers participating in a simulated, video screen scenario.
And there's things that we cannot logistically make happen with simunitions, so this will give us those opportunities as well.
Sergeant Hudson says he hasn't heard of any other department in the state that matches APD for the amount of scenario training cadets are given, adding every single elbow, knee, or takedown is received by an officer at the department.
And they do it because they believe in putting back into these recruits and making sure that they're as well trained and as well prepared for the streets as they can be, and that is the reputation Amarillo has.
For ABC 7 Daybreak, I'm David Furtado.